Welcome back again. Part 2 of You Don't Know What You Don't Know. But you better find out, because it's all a lie unless you're an idiot. And no one wants to be an idiot and keep being fooled. So one of the first things, look at the map. This is the globe. This is how the continents are. This is Western Europe, where they think that they are the greatest thing. It's really 5%. Africa is much, much more important, and the Africans have no idea. When they discover how important they are, 60% of the world's commodities, top commodities, are here. And below the Sahara Desert, there are lakes and lakes and lakes of fresh water. Because this region was a tropical forest 5,000 years ago, and we still have lots of oases with hidden treasures. So, why don't the Africans know about this? It's complicated, but we have to talk about it. They had no concept of the globe. The concept of the globe was, according to discoveries, invented in China 1,500 years ago. And the Chinese traded with India, and the Indians and Chinese shared knowledge. In fact, the Chinese say that they owe 1,000 years of knowledge to India, when during Buddhism, from 500 BC, India was the center of the world, and they expanded their trading operation to China. So the Indians and the Chinese have been in the blue oceans of commerce. The Silk Route, we had the sea route of teas, spices, the spice route, and we had the Silk Route through Central Asia, going through the Caspian Sea, the Black Sea, to Alexandria in Egypt. The Indians traded directly with Egypt, with Ethiopia. Many people have never heard of Ethiopia. It was the first Christian country in the world. They have been Christian for 2,000 years. It's a very advanced civilization. They have their own writing. They have enormous palaces, monuments. So this world, Egypt, Ethiopia, was connected to India and China for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. With this kind of contact, they exchanged information, mathematics, science, astrology, geography, economics. So basically, from China to East Africa, all over the Indian Ocean, we had 10,000 years of dynamic trading civilization based on peace and prosperity. And they were finding things out, because the more you have conversations with an open mind, the more you trade, the more you need the other people, the more you share prosperity and peace, the smarter you get. And if you want to continue having peace and prosperity, you better become a better person. Otherwise, the people stop trading with you and move to another partner. Which is exactly what is happening today. The global south are trading with India and China. They're not wanting to trade with Western Europe or America. Why is that? The Americans, everyone knows, have been exploiting South America. The Monroe Doctrine for 100 years has shown the world that the Americans say that the Americas are ours. The Americas are ours. They treat Canada as their kindergarten. Argentina is totally controlled. From Alaska to Argentina, it's ours, say the Americans. But Mexicans, Brazilians, Colombians, Peruvians, Cubans do not agree. They have their own civilization, their own music, their own culture, their own language. And today, they're joining the BRICS. France dominated a large part of Africa and convinced the Africans to sell their precious commodities for peanuts and buy expensive things from France because status became very important. And the African upper class had chateaus in France and drove expensive Mercedes with gold teeth. And the French played on this. They developed this craze for expensive products, expensive way of life. So, for the last 150, 200 years, Africa has suffered tremendously. Apart from slavery and invasions and stolen art, destruction by cannons, they have been deprived of their languages and their history. And only very recently have they gained freedom and freedom of mind to think freely without being programmed, indoctrinated, or dominated, induced, intimidated. So many countries in Africa are joining the BRICS, the Global South, because they want to know what they don't know. They want to find out what they should know. They don't want to be left behind anymore. So the question today is, we live on the globe. We're brothers and sisters. It's not Europe versus the rest of the world. The rest of the world is 90%. Europe is around 5 to 10%. That kind of mentality is over. Today we have to join hands around the globe and hug the globe. This is our home. And everyone that lives on this planet is our brother. The color is a consequence of sun. When people realize that the closer they are to the equator, the darker the people are. So the people here in India and Sri Lanka, in the south of India, are very dark. It's because of the sun. And people living near the poles are lighter. There's no sun. It's ice. So the Eskimos, the Siberians, the Northern Europeans are less colored, let's say. They're whiter, but the white is not the right word. They're fair complexioned because there's no sun. So it's not a question of white or black or right or left or right or wrong or European and non-European. Today, in fact, to be quite honest, Europe doesn't exist. It's called Eurasia. This concept of us Europeans, it's Eurasia. From Manchuria to Iberia, it's Eurasia. And what about the Middle East? Is the Middle East a part of Africa or Asia? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The whole world is connecting. The whole world is joining. This is what is important. And by joining, by connecting, by togetherness, they are discovering that they had no access to globes, that they had access to European and American propaganda through Hollywood, Fast and Furious. It's all about cars and bombs and James Bond doing anything, anywhere, with the Majesty's permission. You can't go to other countries and blow up and explode things and kill people. And what is that all about? So We need to find out immediately, urgently, what we don't know and start questioning why we don't know so many important things. Thanks for watching, and let's continue to the next video.